doop, doop.
So many dabs. We just dabbed.
Dabbed
TJ
so
Perkins
hard.
style.
Dabbed so hard.
Well,
it is the Tuesday after Elimination Chamber here in the Wrestling Agenda Garage.
It's about 5 minutes after SmackDown got over,
Yep.
which was so good, like it always is. Way better than Raw was.
I thought Raw was good. I don't know.
Raw had a
partial
good
opinion here.
Raw had some good moments.
Yeah. So we're going to break that all down for you tonight. Elimination Chamber, Cody and I tied.
We did.
Yep. And so he is still +3 on the year. Mark that on your calendars. That is +3.
If we tied, I am +4.
Fuck, you are right. Yep. +4 to Cody.
I don't think we tied. I think you finished one ahead of me.
No, because I wasn't counting the actual Chamber match. Because I forgot you called Bray Wyatt. I was just so pissed that AJ Styles
Yeah, I did.
got
Bray.
close and then didn't. But it's working out beautifully on Raw or on SmackDown now.
Wonderful.
Oh,
Holy shit.
So good.
Like, what's going to happen?
Yeah. Other huge landscape shift was Naomi winning the women's championship over Alexa Bliss. Yeah. That was out of nowhere, it felt like. And what felt like a palate cleanser match following Randy Orton and Luke Harper, which was very, very good, surprisingly.
The main event scene or the final 3 matches were really good.
Yeah. Super, very, very well good.
It was
very
the
well
opposite
good.
of
But you
Royal
know,
Rumble.
Yeah, it was incredibly good. I was really impressed. The bottom of the half card was terrible.
Yeah, first half, no need to even watch it.
Mickey and Alexa told a good story, and it was fine
They
for
tried.
what it was. But the rest of it was dog shit, I thought.
I think Mickey and Becky, with the right story and given the right amount of time, are going to put on an amazing match because they're both amazing wrestlers. But
This is where you see the depth of the roster playing, I think, on this card as well.
Yeah.
You saw 3 women's matches because their roster wasn't impeded by the Chamber match. One of them was very good.
Yes.
Very good. It was good. One was average.
I'd say above average. If it is it, are you talking about Mickey? And
Yeah,
Becky?
and
It was above
Becky and
average.
Becca was my good one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then Alexa and Naomi was average.
I'll still put it above average
Okay.
for the outcome.
Yeah, shocking outcome.
Right.
And then Natalia and fucking Nikki Bella. That's still happening.
Yeah, it's the same as it has been for 10 years.
Yeah, it was.
Not 10, like 8.
It was a continuation of this storyline. It is for what it is, and but other than that, we had a 2-on-1 handicap match. The 2-on-1 handy, as it's become known around these parts.
The 2-on-1 handy match.
It was bad.
It was stupid. Like
it was clearly to fill the card because the other 6
but
guys were in the chamber.
you put 2 faces on one heel, and they just run through him.
Well, and then the outcome, you have Ziggles beat them down with a chair after losing, and the crowd is chanting, instead of getting heat, they're saying, "Thank you, Ziggler."
Yeah.
Like, it didn't work at all.
No. If this was to get
You have to have 2
Ziggler
faces
heat,
that people care about.
Was this just another way for them to turn Ziggler face again?
No, he's not turning face on a chair leg injury thing to Apollo. But anyway,
I don't know.
yeah, it was it was weird, and
Didn't like it.
yeah, Mojo Rawley, Kurt Hawkins was what we expected, I guess. Maybe a little better than we expected.
Was still at work. Did not get to see it.
Yep, it was fine for what it was. Another match we didn't think was going to be stellar by any means. But yeah, the chamber match, let's talk about that for a while. It is the main event.
The greatest chamber match that's ever happened.
And I can't think of one that was better.
Not top to bottom.
Yeah.
There's been bigger moments.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, there's been a couple bigger moments. Like Shawn Michaels coming back and winning his first championship since retiring the first time.
That was pretty cool, yeah.
That was probably the biggest moment.
But the match itself wasn't that great.
No.
But
Bray Wyatt winning the championship, to me,
getting John
is more
Cena
important.
getting John Cena out second to last was a brilliant
They
move.
had to do that.
It was
They
a
had
brilliant move because the crowd just got They were already invested, but they were incredibly invested at that point.
Right, but they did the smart thing, and they left the final two being the two crowd favorites. Like the most invested that crowd could have been was if those two were in the finals.
Yeah, and it really worked. It played well. I like the new chamber as well. It's taller. You noticed this was our first time we ever had two people on top of a pod in a spot.
Yes.
And it was kind of a funny spot more than anything because AJ was just selling the shit out of it when he was getting his head banged up against that like plexiglass or whatever it is. But
I like that too.
Yeah, it was really good for what it was. They made Baron look strong. They made Dean look strong, made Miz look like the opportunist that he always is.
Yeah.
It really worked for everyone, I thought, in this match.
I like the redesign of the chamber because in past chambers, it's kind of hard to shoot it. It always, every once in a while, you just get a bad angle.
Yeah, you can't see shit.
And you can't see anything. Unless
they only had one of those this year, and it was
one.
Yeah, and they came out on a steel bar, and it was because they were too close.
It wasn't that it was a bad angle. It was just bad timing.
Yeah, if they would have waited like 3 more seconds for them to pass over that bar, it would have been a great. Yeah,
half a second.
Yeah, it would have been a great angle.
And that was probably the arm camera anyway. So
yeah,
someone was controlling it, hoping
that they wouldn't cut to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was for what it was. I was really, really impressed with this, and to say that match was better than Luke Harper and Randy Orton after that effort, that says a lot because they had a killer. I didn't think they were going to be that good at all, and they really dug you in. The emotion was there. This is classic brand to me. SmackDown feels much more heavy, emotional in their matches, just based on that kind of stuff. And they still come up with these off-the-wall things like Naomi and Alexa Bliss, which is fine and works well, but like these heavy matches with guys like, and the entire chamber was retelling stories, and it was amazing.
I've never seen a chamber match set up so many stories.
Yeah. It was incredible because it
so
sets
many
up Corbin, Ambrose.
Yep. It set up Miz Cena.
It kind of did, yeah.
If they want to go that way, they can come back to the
they have flexible options at this point, and it's really good. And then with tonight on SmackDown, we saw Randy Orton take the knee to Bray Wyatt after Bray Wyatt won in a really good triple threat match between him, AJ Styles, and John Cena.
Yeah.
And Randy said, as long as you're the master I'm the servant, and as long as you have that title, I won't contest for it. And he went down to his knees. And Bray Wyatt gave him I'm doing air quotes here, the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means. It's incredible right now. The snake, I was talking to Cody. I was like, this is the snake in the family story might be the best story I've seen in 5 years from WWE.
Yeah.
It's going to be one they look back on, and they're like, yeah, that was a really cool story.
I guess, yeah.
Like it started out.
It would be 5 because I was going to say, CM Punk leaving the company, but that was 2011.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the last.
Think about that's the last really big
major invested storyline I was into.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most of the time, it's just I'm into the match, not the storyline.
Daniel, but it wasn't really a story. They just kept fucking him around. We created the story.
Yeah.
The fans,
the Yes Movement story.
The fans created the Yes Movement. The fans created the story, and the story is something that we have told other people because it feels like we created it.
Yeah,
it's something that's in our mind. It's never been written down. It was never rehearsed. It's just something that was organic.
And despite this getting off on a shaky start, I think it ended really well. Or it's not ended, but it had a very shaky first week. And then it immediately corrected itself and went right off in the right direction. Well, and it hasn't looked back.
Right, because we didn't know what they were going to do because they gave him the titles.
Yeah, with the whole, if you can't beat him, join him, and his fucking eyes flickering thing. That was kind of silly.
Right, that was kind of silly. And they gave him the titles. And then right away they lost them. And we were like, okay, well, at least Bray got a title out of it. But where they've gone from there is miles past where I thought they were going to go. It's been
so good, yeah. Even as tag titles, when you saw the descent of Harper and the family, it's just been really good, and it makes you wish that they had something like that with Strowman at one point.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been as good. It needed to be someone like Randy Orton or John Cena.
Well, no, I'm saying like with Baron leaving the family, we just kind of got him drafted away. And that's what happened with that.
You mean someone should?
And remember,
should have got
if you
in
guys
between.
recall draft night, I was incredibly pissed that the family was still together minus Braun. I said, this is fucking stupid. If anything, Bray should be on his own. And I'm glad they're not now because this has been amazing.
Does this mean possibly that Randy Orton goes for the Universal title?
Maybe, yeah. Well, the rules aren't clear on it still. Like they keep saying, Renee keeps saying, "Oh, he's coming after the WWE Championship," and then
we don't know. Like they've never said
the
rules
that
have changed.
Yeah, since the draft, there was like a little kicker, like, "Oh, the Royal Rumble winner will be able to challenge for either." Like
because that's how it used to be.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's kind of how they can set this up, and I think that's how they want to set it up is to have it like kind of a free floating thing.
Yeah. The only problem with it is I don't know who he faces. If that's where they're going, I don't know who he goes after.
I don't know.
Right, because
if
Goldberg wins, he's not going to go after Goldberg. And if Kevin wins,
on the Wyatt's on Bray's willing, and that it's like a suicide mission to go after Goldberg, but he wants that title back with the family.
Maybe.
But it'd be really goofy because then he'd have to be on Raw.
He'd have to be on Raw.
It'd be a really funky, weird thing.
It'd end the story pretty much. If he was the champion, it'd almost end the story. It'd be the Wyatt family.
They can't be both
on both brands, kind of like the club, but they don't visit the club very often.
You notice there's really never any cross section of stories except for at sometimes SummerSlam or
and they
Survivor
both
Series.
Still wear the same gear, but he never like talks about Carl and Gallows. He never says like this one's for those guys or anything.
But yeah,
it never goes the opposite way.
I agree. So yeah, for that reason, I think I'm going to give Elimination Chamber a C here.
A C?
Yeah, a solid middle of the road C. It was a good pay-per-view. We become accustomed to them though over SmackDown, and the entire first 2/3 of the card like half the card was it was bad.
That's true.
Up until
that does take the average down.
Harper Orton, and I know it was a great moment for Naomi to win, but it was a bad.
It wasn't a bad match. I give it a B-.
That match,
yeah,
I'd give it like
you got
C plus at best.
We're 1 point off. A C plus and a B-.
I know. I'm just saying.
I mean, I think the championship win, a surprise championship win right before WrestleMania always kind of gets me a little bit.
And then say Chamber gets an A, Harper Orton gets an A minus.
I gave the Chamber an A plus because it's the greatest Chamber match of all time. I think so.
Yeah.
I gave Harper and Orton an A minus.
I'm going to be really stingy with my A pluses for a while.
That's understandable. Yeah. I mean, I'm not giving it stars.
No, I know you're not.
I'm not giving it stars. This is just how I felt at the time.
Plus, you can always go to A++ if you really want to.
I could.
You can just keep on going if you want.
Can.
You can be that 6-star guy.
Yeah, Dave Meltzer kept going, which is understandable. It's a great match.
Yeah, and he's been doing it for years. And yeah, it's understandable. That does get an A+ for me. Until the A++ rating does come out, and then that will get that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
What did you grade the tag team turmoil match?
Tag team turmoil match, I will give a B to.
A B?
A B, maybe a B minus.
I was gonna say you think that
I'm gonna say a B minus
in that match was better than Naomi and Bliss.
I had a problem with the outcome
because
obviously.
You wanted the Ascension.
Well, obviously that, but they had 2 other times where someone got beat up. Yeah. Someone came in and capitalized for a pin, and it worked. Just after that, like it didn't, but it didn't work for the Ascension, and so it makes them look like doofuses for not being able to capitalize.
No kidding.
It makes them look really fucking weak. Surprise.
I mean, when you hit a tag team finisher, someone always looks for the other guy. That's just
that's common
works.
Fucking tag team stuff. Yeah. And so it made them look like a bunch of doofuses.
Because I always threw a fit because they did this to the club so many times. They would hit the Dream Killer or the Boot of Doom, and then
somebody would
either Carl or Gallows would get back in the corner instead of just standing there. Dumb. You don't have unless the ref tells you have to get out. You just fucking stand there.
Yeah, it was bad. That part was bad. And I also have a problem with it because if you have a 6-person match and it happens, say that American Alpha is Roman Reigns, and he comes out, he wins against somebody like Kevin Owens. Kevin is being a heel, wrecks him on the outside. Somebody we love, I don't know who's a great babyface at this point that we love.
On SmackDown?
On Raw.
Oh, fuck. Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And then Sammy comes out, and you're like, fuck, Sammy's going to win the title. And you get really excited. And then he shits the bed, and he hits him with a blue thunder bomb. Roman kicks out. Roman spears him. It's over.
Right.
Like,
which is pretty much what Roman was doing in the Empire days.
Yeah. And we would have been annoyed at that. Like, so Alpha doesn't get a slant. Like, they don't get away with that, in my opinion.
The only reason I'm not going to bury it as much as that is because American Alpha is still trying to find themselves.
Yeah, they are.
And they're still on the rise.
God, they shouldn't be finding themselves with a fucking titles around their waist.
I know, but
they waited on New Day until they found their gig, and then they're like, "Okay, that's the New Day. Give them the titles."
But they had someone to run with it before that. If Alpha drops,
if that's the case, give it to Fashion Police. They at least know what the fuck they are, and they're great at it.
I believe that too. I think the Fashion Police are hot right now.
They were so fucking good too in that match.
They're so good. They're funny. They play off the crowd. I would have liked to see them win. I wouldn't have minded if Team Above Ground Pool would have.
I would have been very
came
pissed
up
at
with
that.
the win.
They broke up twice now.
Yeah,
and they just won't break up because they need them for the
Wyatts have broke up like 15 times.
Yeah, and they need them for these like 12-man matches, and that's a faction though.
I understand.
A tether and a faction is different than two people splitting.
I understand.
And hitting each other off the rumble. It was, I don't know. And then you don't see them forever, and you're like, well, are they still feuding? Like, what the fuck? So that's, I don't know. They looked fine though too. I didn't think any of the teams came across weak or
Vaudevillains
silly.
came off weak.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yep, I forgot about Vaudevillains. That's how weak they came across. Yeah. It feels bad because Aiden English is a fantastic wrestler.
He is. One of these days, him versus Cesaro will be at WrestleMania or SummerSlam or Royal Rumble. One of them, it has to happen because that match will be amazing. Because they both have almost the same style. One's not as strong.
Yeah, one has a much less power-based moveset.
Well, that's because Cesaro is the strongest man in the world.
He's believable.
Pound for pound, he is the strongest person in the world. Well, maybe. But
at least in WWE.
I graded it a C+. I graded it a little bit worse than Naomi Bliss just because the outcome just didn't need... the match didn't even need to happen, technically. No. It could have just been a regular tag team match. The outcome would have been the same. I get trying to put everybody on the card, but this wasn't Royal Rumble. This wasn't Mania. There's no need to throw everybody on a card just so.
Yeah, I would agree. But yeah, so I don't know what that means. But yeah, it was overall. So we're both in agreement that it was. I say it's okay to good. You say it's probably good to great. Is that what you're saying?
If we take away, which I know is kind of diminishes it a little bit, but if you take away, shit, that's over half of it. If you take away half of it, I'd give it an A, but because I can't.
As would I, but you can't.
But because I can't, I will give it a B- just because of the main event.
Yep. C+.
Yeah. We're close.
Most because the last three matches, or at least Harper Orton and the Chamber match, drug it up. But
honestly, if you take away Mojo versus Kurt, you take away the 2-on-1 handy, and you make Nikki and Natalya the pre-show and all the other matches, it's an A- for me.
Agreed. All right, well, we're in agreement on that. Raw happened, the Festival of Friendship from Las Vegas.
Don't want to talk about
it. Weird night for Raw. You had Roman Reigns making the club look like doofuses, in my opinion, which is not a good way to promote your champions. That's fine, though. Whatever. We're used to it at this point.
It's Raw.
Yeah, it's Raw. We're used to it, I guess.
And we know that the good stories and the good wrestlers apparently are on SmackDown, and that's it.
Yeah. You had three other things to note. Emelina debuted, finally. Cut a very confusing promo, and then immediately transformed herself back into Emma.
Good.
Which is great. That's what I wanted anyway. They didn't just have to pull my dick for 4 months, but that's fine.
I don't think she was healthy. I think that was the whole thing.
I think it's also swerving us for a long time.
I think they were going to go with the Emelina, and everyone. Maybe they finally listened to the fans, and everyone was throwing a goddamn fit on Twitter and everything.
I would have been with Emelina if it was fine, but they never gave it a fucking chance. And then I'm fine with them killing it this way. Though.
Good.
I'm fine with it.
I was gonna say good.
And then so my main B is back, the Australian Danger herself.
I love her. I saw her debut in Omaha.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
It was not anything special.
Another thing to note: the Festival of Friendship between Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho.
Yes, with the greatest painting of all time.
Yep, the creation of Kevin might be if they put it on the WWE shop, you kind of have to snatch it up.
I'm buying it. I'm getting it framed. I'm
Despite,
putting it over the fireplace.
Despite their...
I might put it in the recording studio.
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
We'll make a wrestling agenda flag one of these days to put up here too.
Okay.
But anywho's, so it was a fun segment. It was a lot of fun. And then, which is very typical of Chris and Kevin.
Yeah.
And then Chris gave him all these gifts.
Yeah.
And then it turned very dark. Once Kevin gave Chris his present, everyone was kind of ominous about it, but hopeful. And then maybe the saddest, what was it, 6 words? Why is my name on this list? Yeah, 6, 7 words, whatever. I'm not counting, but he pulls it out, and the fans can see. This is great though. This is great shot angles, and this is great storytelling for what this story kind of was, I guess. But the list of KO, and he's the only name on it, and he just drops the mic and proceeds to just decimate Chris Jericho.
You know what this is all stemming from? He wouldn't accept Kevin's Christmas present. He wouldn't wear it. He threw it on the floor, and Kevin got him back.
I don't know, but anyway, Gilbert showed up too. I forgot about that in there. That was fun.
Dwayne Gill.
Like I said, it was a lot of fun. But anyway, is this the end for them?
For now.
As friends.
As friends? Like real-life friends or storyline friends?
Storyline friends.
Storyline friends, no. This is a bump in the road. They will get back together at some point. I think I think Chris is going to leave after Mania to go back on tour or something. And I'm guessing that's why they're squashing it. But I don't think a storyline this good will ever end, if that makes sense. I think,
and I wouldn't call it like a great storyline or anything, but it's not good storytelling.
I think Kevin Owens, because of the resurgence of Jericho in this, I think Kevin Owens will induct Chris Jericho into the Hall of Fame when he goes.
Maybe. I'm saying I think that actually that this isn't the end of it. I think he comes back at Fastlane and wins Kevin the title.
You think
against Goldberg? I think so.
You think so? That squashes the story already, though.
But what are you going to do with Goldberg in a match against Kevin Owens after you've laid out that he just decimates Brock Lesnar? Are you going to make Lesnar look that weak? Through transitive property? I'm using that term correctly?
You just have Lesnar interfere, and catching someone off guard never makes them look weak. You have Lesnar interfere and cost Goldberg the match. Whether it's it's Fastlane. Nothing has to happen. Nothing has to change. They can just...
Agreed.
They can just get thrown out. It can be a disqualification, and Goldberg just says, fine.
I think the best way to write this is to have the lights go out before their match, because I don't want to see a fucking Goldberg Kevin Owens match.
I don't either.
I want to see the lights go out right before they start. Lights come on, Demon, full face paint, full like the dread, like the weird dreads. I don't know, the dread hat. I don't know what you call it.
I got you.
But
I know what you mean.
That whole thing, and the Demon shows back up, and he just kind of looks at them both, and he proceeds to wreck. It paints him back very, very fucking strong, which is what they wanted in the original place. B, he comes back. He gets a storyline at least for before WrestleMania. He's not just in a match or making an appearance. And then C, I had a really good one here. Oh, he comes back. He has a rightful title shot. He never lost it.
He still has his rematch that he can invoke at any time.
Agreed.
Which, because you've said that, this is how I like it. It's the same thing, but I want it just to be lights on, Finn Balor.
Yep.
Lights off, Goldberg's laying down, Kevin's on top of him. 1, 2, 3.
Both out?
Both out.
I love it.
That's the end. And then the next day, it would be the next day on Raw, Finn Balor challenges him for the title at WrestleMania.
I love it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There we go.
Look at us book.
Look at us go.
This should
he
be a
has
different
the
show.
ideas, and I tweak them tiny bits.
And it makes it better. That's what we do here at the
Makes it
Wrestling
a little
Agenda.
bit better. Because
but,
then no one looks weak.
Yep, agreed. Last point of note, Bayley wins her first women's championship over Charlotte.
Good for her. Wish it would have happened at Mania, but good for her
a weird
anyway.
double interference angle from Dana Brooke, who we haven't seen in, 3-4 months. Am I right on that? I don't know.
It's been a while.
Romeo or Tim will correct me in maybe Twitter or the comments.
They were on Raw 3 weeks ago. She was in the back.
Yep. One of them will know because they're encyclopedias of WrestleMania knowledge.
Yes.
Of our WrestleMania, that too, but of just pure wrestling knowledge. And it was a good match, I thought. It told the story very well. Mm-hmm. Kind of the same story they told with Sasha, but that's fine. The "you'll never beat me" kind of thing,
Yeah.
And
they still don't have good chemistry for some reason.
Who's that? Charlotte and Bayley?
Yeah.
I would agree. They both work their fucking hearts out, but it just isn't meshing. Yeah, I hear you.
No.
It's not the way Cena Styles meshed.
Instantly.
Yeah.
It's more like AJ and Chris Jericho.
I think this is how you...
Two amazing wrestlers that just couldn't get it.
I know
they had good matches, not great.
Yeah. I know the last thing that the Raw women's division needs is another heel, but this is how you can paint Sasha right back as a heel.
Yeah.
She comes out with Bayley next week, says, friends are always there for each other, fucking turns on her. Boom, you have people who have instinct. They're great chemistry.
Batista, Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Tired of my friend stabbing me in the back.
Yeah.
And you stabbed me in the back. Now I'm going to kill you. And then he just wrecks him.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, because I think that's the championship match.
I think it would be a good one.
Bayley Sasha.
Yeah. But we'll have to see.
And it wouldn't
with
surprise
Fastlane
me.
right around the corner, maybe they're still not done with playing hot potato.
It might end up being Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte.
That would be great too.
It's just like last year, except Bayley's in the spot we wanted her to be.
Yeah. Well,
I wanted it to be a fatal four.
Yeah.
But it's not looking that way.
They'll work towards that. They've all got healthy careers at this point. I know Sasha does get quote unquote injured a lot. This is fucking.
There's no quotes. She does.
This is kayfabe though. This one is.
What I would like is if by next year they're all four on the same roster.
Oh man, that's kind of gutting the women's division a bit, unless you bring
on
up
Smackdown?
Asuka. Yeah, or Raw or wherever they go. Like
I understand, yeah, but
you're gonna have Asuka and
Ember Moon.
They're not gonna gut NXT again the way they did on the draft. I guarantee it.
It's not gutting if they always reload.
Yeah, H isn't happy right now though. He's not a happy man with the direction of NXT, and understandably so. It has
he lost
taken a dip.
His head writer, and he got that guy a promotion.
It's still really good in my opinion, but and tomorrow tune into NXT if you have the WWE Network, because there is the first ever UK Championship match on it.
Yes,
and Trent Seven will face Tyler Bates for the UK Championship, and they're treating it like it's an NXT Championship match, really hyping it up.
That's good.
Treating it with the respect it deserves, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But still waiting for that weekly show.
Agreed. And you can tell they're being a lot more careful with this than they were with 205 instead of just shooting from the hip with it.
Right.
But 205 is kind of finding a footing slowly, very slowly.
Do you think that this championship at some point will lose its whole UK thing and just be another second-tier title like the European Championship?
I don't think so. If they can keep getting United Kingdom wrestlers on it, I think they can keep this thing going for a little while. I think that the major things with these tournament-style belts is that the champion and a couple of guys need to be back in that tournament, but with a reloaded, restacked roster.
Right.
guys like putting back in the CWC.
Wade Barrett.
Yeah, well, and then
Wade Barrett
UK
back.
Championship. Yeah, put Wade Barrett back in it. I mean, there's a lot. Like, I think that
Scotland part of the UK.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. There's a lot of options that they have, and I think that it'd be wise, like, to redo these tournaments that everyone loves, make them yearly, but use them to reload your roster,
Right,
and to re-innovate your roster. I think that's the smart thing to do.
They're almost getting too big. And
Because if you look at the New Japan model, I know me just sucking New Japan's dick for days.
Go ahead,
but I will. If you notice, the G1 and the New Japan Cup, they set the tone for each other and the rest of the year for that wrestler. They had a poor showing at the G1, they're gonna have a shit year probably.
Yeah.
They don't come out of nowhere. If you had a really good showing at G1, it's gonna show in where you're at on the card. The Tanahashis, the Omegas, the Takahashi wasn't in it, but he will be in the Super Junior one this year.
Right.
So it definitely goes in waves, and you notice that that's how they refuel and reinnovate feuds in that.
Right.
So I don't know. I think I like that model a lot.
The model works. The model works. The only problem with it, though, is the G1 and Best of the Super Juniors, and what was the other one you said?
Oh, New Japan Cup.
New Japan Cup. That is mostly their roster, or their regulars that they bring in from Ring of Honor and other places. This is a completely brand new roster to try to get over.
Yeah,
to
new title
fans
belt.
that have it's new titles, even with the cruiserweights. Like, yeah, there was a couple of names you knew. We knew a lot of the names because, well, we're us, and we really like indie wrestling, and a lot of those guys were amazing indie wrestlers. But I compare the New Japan tournaments to the old '90s King of the Ring, and then now with the Money in the Bank,
King of the Ring made careers. It made Bret the Hitman Hart.
It did for a while.
It made Stone Cold.
Owen Hart too.
Yeah, Owen Hart.
Bret and Owen won back.
It had
here.
prestigious feeling to it. It had a lot.
It did.
On it.
It did. And
yeah, I would
the
agree.
King of the Ring, Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank at times with the G1 getting the. I guess that's more Royal Rumble.
Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank did have some tournament style feel to it early when they had qualifying matches for it.
Yes.
But yeah.
They still kind of do, but it's usually for the spots we don't give a shit about.
Yeah.
It's not.
Or the
it's
imaginary
not John Cena versus AJ Styles.
Or the imaginary spot that they cut like they did last year.
It's supposed to be Kalisto, so who gives a shit?
Hashtag never forget.
Yeah.
Kalisto in a ladder match? Are you fucking crazy? Him and Sin Cara go ape shit in those.
I understand, but it wasn't adding another name to where, like, oh shit, he might win. Yeah, he would have done something cool, but never in your wildest dreams is Kalisto going to win the Money in the Bank.
That's what we thought about Zacky Ryder.
That's different.
That's what we thought, though.
That's different, though.
When he came out, you could not have been like, he is winning this title.
I didn't, but I wore my shirt anyway to support him, but that was for the IC title. There's no way Kalisto
wins Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
That's how you make it.
There's no way.
It is what you make it.
There's no way. He has to get a lot hotter, a lot better at talking, and honestly a lot better at wrestling. He's not a bad wrestler, but
I think he's a pretty good wrestler, but I don't know. Anyway, so that's kind of all we have for tonight, isn't it? The SmackDown Raw review. Next week I'll be talking a little bit, I promise, just a little bit.
On New Japan?
On New Japan. With the New Beginnings coming out, but we really don't have time for it on this one right now. So yeah, WrestlingAgenda.club is looking sexy.
It is.
Yep, it'll be up officially. Hopefully, while you're reading this on your Amazon Kindle, like some mid-50s wife
or your mom.
Yeah, an old woman. Just
my
mom's not old, but yeah, she listens to it
on her Kindle Fire.
She doesn't have a Kindle Fire. I'm assuming she just listens on her phone.
Maybe
because she's a great mom. So. And she supports me in this weird and wacky
not in her 50s?
podcast. I don't think so. Forever 29.
Forever 29,
yep.
Huh?
Forever 29.
That's cool.
That was for her, in case she was listening.
She'll be listening.
And now I'm just sucking up to my mom on my podcast.
Kyle's mom, if you're listening, this is where you stop the episode. Because Kyle's going to say some naughty things.
That's not true. Stop. My mom's a saint. Leave her out of this.
I wasn't going to say that.
But yeah, so WrestlingAgenda.club is looking great, though.
Yes, it is.
It will be live. Hopefully, you can check right off here. Open up WrestlingAgenda.club, not .com, because we're not some weird 1990s.
No, we too sweet, everybody.
MySpace was a .com. You see how that turned out? We're friggin' .club. We're setting the tone.
Yep. Because we're too sweet.
He gave some little too sweets to the microphone.
Too sweeting the microphone, so all of you I can too sweet all your earbuds.
Anyways, so yeah, go ahead and give that a check out. It's not entirely finished, but we do have articles up there right now. So it's going to be good. I hope to hear your feedback on it.
There's links to all our episodes, right?
Yeah, well, the link currently, the way it sits, I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it. You just click podcast, takes you right to our Wrestling Agenda page here on YouTube.
Oh, wonderful.
Until we get our SoundCloud stuff figured out and anywhere else you guys would like to listen to us on. As always, tweet Cody with that. Send us an email. Whatever you need to do. That's all there, too.
Oh, all of our email.
Yeah, the only thing that's not on it is our Facebook yet that we haven't claimed because of those assholes back in 2004 that tried to start the same thing.
Yeah.
And then they didn't. They tried to just start a page.
Right. They tried to start a page.
They really half-assed it, and then they're like, oh, we're not doing this after like 3 posts.
Yeah.
But it's Facebook, so nothing leaves.
I think our best bet is to talk to them and somehow
I think we can just be WrestlingAgenda.club.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Anyway.
We can just do the Wrestling Agenda.
That too.
Whichever
we're
one
the
they
legit
didn't
one.
take.
Yep. So there's links to our Twitters, links to all that. As always, leave us a like, share, subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a comment or two. It makes our days.
It does.
When we get comments and tweets. Just feel that love brewing in your heart.
In my plums.
Ooh, wow.
Turning a bright bluish hue. Said no, Did
he really just say that? I can't
no,
do
Donna.
Booker T,
I said no, Donna. You let him watch. You let him watch.
Let the boy watch.
Let the boy watch. Well, on that note, feels like a good time to get the hell out of here.
But always.
So that's all that we've got on the wrestling agenda. Or that's all that's on the agenda tonight. I had a sweet tagline and I messed it up.
Like us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube. This is the Wrestling Agenda.
Ooh, Dawnbreaker, play us out.
Too fucking sweet.